question is, you have an Azure IoT hub and 15,000 IoT devices that monitor temperature. The IoT hub has 4 partitions. Each IoT device sends a 1 KB message every 5 seconds. You plan to use Azure Stream Analytics to process the telemetry stream and generate an alert when temperature exceeds a defined threshold. You need to recommend the minimum number of streaming units to configure for Stream Analytics. What should you recommend? Option A 1, Option B 3, Option C 6, Option D 12. Correct answer is option D 12. Next question is, you have an Azure IoT hub that has 1000 registered devices. You create an Azure Logic app. You need to send device connected and device disconnected events in real time to the Logic app. What should you do? Options are Option A. From the message routing blade of the IoT hub, add a route. Route device lifecycle events to an Azure Service Bus queue. Option B. From the diagnostic settings blade of the IoT hub, add a diagnostic setting route the connection logs to a log analytics workspace. Option C. From the events blade of the IoT hub, add an event subscription. Configure the filter to the event type settings and route the events to a webhook. Correct answer is option C. From the events blade of the IoT hub, add an event subscription. Configure the filter to event type setting and route the events to a webhook. Next question is, after you answer a question in the question, you will not be able to return to it. And the question is, you have devices that connect to an Azure IoT hub. Each device has a fixed GPS location that includes latitude and longitude. You discover that a device entry in the identity registry of the IoT hub is missing the GPS location. You need to configure the GPS location for the device entry. The solution must prevent the changes from being propagated to the physical device. Solution. You add tags to the device twin. Does the solution meet the goal? Options are yes or no. Correct answer is no. Next question is, you have an Azure IoT Edge module named Sample Module that runs on a device named Device 1. You make changes to the code of Sample Module by using Microsoft Visual Studio Code. You need to push the code to the container registry and then deploy the module to device 1. Which two actions should you perform from Visual Studio Code? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Options are Option A. Build and push the sample module code to the registry. Option B. Create a deployment for a single device. Option C. Generate a deployment manifest. Option D. Build an IoT Edge solution. Option E. Generate a shared access signature SAS token for the device 1. Correct answer is option B and option C. Create a deployment for a single device and generate a deployment manifest. Next question is, you are developing an Azure IoT solution for a shipping company. The company's ships will have sensors used for predictive maintenance. Some sensor devices will be MQTT capable and others will use Modbus. Each ship has an internet connection that is available only when the ship is docked. You create an Azure IoT hub. You need to implement an IoT solution that uses Azure IoT Edge. What should you do? Options are Option A. Configure an IoT Edge gateway. Deploy an IoT Edge Modbus module from the Azure portal. Create IoT devices and add connection strings to the devices. Option B. Add the MQTT devices to the IoT hub and configure an IoT Edge Gateway. From the IoT Edge Gateway device, assign the MQTT device as a child devices of the gateway. Use the file upload feature of IoT Hub when internet connectivity is available. Option C. Add the MQTT devices to the IoT Hub. Configure an IoT Edge Gateway and set Enable Connection to IoT Hub to disable. From the IoT Edge Gateway device, assign the MQTT device as the child devices of the gateway. Deploy the IoT Edge Modbus module. Option D. Add the MQTT devices to the IoT Hub and configure an IoT Edge Gateway. From the IoT Edge Gateway device, assign the MQTT devices as child devices of the gateway. Deploy an IoT Edge Modbus module. Correct answer is option C. Add the MQTT devices to the IoT Hub. Configure an IoT Edge Gateway and set Enable Connection to IoT Hub to disable. From the IoT Edge Gateway device, assign the MQTT devices as child devices of the gateway. Deploy the IoT Edge Modbus module.